Hey guys, welcome. This is Erwin from Devil's Indicators, and today I want to go over the latest video of Kevin Davey, the 3 times world champion algo trader. He made a very interesting video in which he basically states that all the auto strategy builders out there are garbage, and that they won't work. So I'm talking about this video, and in this video, Kevin states, well, they're basically just curve fitting machines. If you throw in enough parameters, optimize them, you will get something that looks amazing in backtesting, but it falls apart in live trading. And he's right. He's right for most auto traders, but not for ours. Ours is a little bit different. But let's see why
Recipe
he's
for
right about
disaster. And if this is how you backtest,
if you
if
throw
this
in
is your
enough
approach to
parameters,
backtesting,
enough indicators, enough
don't do it.
settings, enough data, then those auto builders will indeed find something profitable in the noise. And that's the problem. It's finding something within the noise. The more settings, parameters, etc. you give it, the more freedom it has to find something, the more degrees, and it's easier to fit to the noise. A 100% win rate in backtesting is just a red flag. A profit factor of 8 in backtesting is a red flag. Perfect equity curve is a red flag. So if your auto builder is not doing anything against curve fitting strategies, Kevin is right. And sadly, most of those auto builders are not built to prevent curve fitting. And that's where ours is different. Our strategy builder, which you can find, by the way, on our website, tradeindicators.com. If you go to the website and you scroll down, you can see it right here. You can go to the product page and read all about it, watch the videos. I won't bore you with that. We also offer a free trial, and that's really free. So if you haven't made use of it, then please do. But anyway, like I said, we our strategy builder is built differently. We have a 3-layer defense core to prevent overcutting strategies. And basically, what we do is we are not optimizing strategies which look good. We kill strategies that look too good. And what do I mean with which look too good? If you have a strategy, and let me, by the way, in the meantime, show you the strategy builder. It's now running. As you can see, this takes quite some time. It can take a half an hour in this case. But yeah, it's finding and testing strategies. But what it does, our strategy builder, it kills strategies that look too good. Meaning that if you have a perfect win rate or a very high profit factor, it gets killed and you won't see it. If it becomes very complex, like it uses 10 indicators or 25 settings, we will give it a penalty. We will tax it, and we will make sure that we favor strategies which are more simpler. The simpler the strategy, the less penalty it gets, and that prevents the whole problem Kevin describes. That if you just throw in enough parameters, you will get something that looks good in backtesting, but falls apart in live trading. We basically penalize any strategy. The more complex it gets, the higher the penalty it will get. A strategy with 2 indicators will be preferred than a strategy with 10 indicators, for example. Also, we look at the recovery factor. It should be at least 2 times the drawdown. So while most auto strategy builders optimize for the best backtest results, ours optimized against it when it's unrealistically good. That's the first defense layer we have in our strategy builder, and which already sets it apart from all the others. The next layer we have in our strategy builder is that we stress test any strategy before you ever see it. That means transaction costs. We double the commissions and the slippage and see how the strategy will perform. If it fails, if it dies, it was never good, so you will never see it. And this is also unlike most strategy builders, because most of them will simply completely ignore slippage and commission. Another big asset we have is the Monte Carlo analysis. Our Monte Carlo analysis runs on both the in sample and out of sample, meaning every strategy we create and backtest gets tested in and out of sample, and only if it performs good, and both are performed good, it will be shown on the leaderboard. If it fails during Monte Carlo, you won't even see it. Finally, we also have a unique signal quality scoring, meaning that if during a backtest, for example, a long trade is opened and we get multiple signals from the strategy to go short during the long trade, that means that that long signal which started the trade was not a very good one. So we will penalize the strategy for that. And you can even define in the settings how big the penalty should be. So we favor strategies which don't generate opposing signals. If you are long, we don't want to see short signals, and if you are short, we don't want to see long signals. And that's another thing which I think no other strategy builder is even considering. Sorry. Also, we look at several ratios. For example, the in sample and out of sample trades. If a strategy produces 46 trades in sample, but only 5 trade out of sample, we give it a penalty, because 5 trade out of sample is not validation, it's just pure luck, it's noise. So the amount of trades being done in sample and out of sample should be have a correct ratio. Also the same for the profit. If an in sample profit is multiple times higher than the out of sample profit, we just call it a day and we say, well, that's not a good strategy. The amount of money made out of sample should reflect the amount of money you make in sample. And that's basically also with what Kevin is missing in his video. And I can understand, I mean, I really respect Kevin, he's doing an amazing job, but he just didn't know about our strategy builder. But we don't just optimize and call it a day. The optimization result is just the entry ticket. The real test will happen after the optimization. So that's the second layer. And the final layer is our leaderboard, which is not simply a data grid like you see here, showing all the results. We don't show the best results on top. And you can already see that if you pay close attention. For example, this 3500 is much higher than this 2790. And here we have 32. So you can see it's not sorted by profit. It's not sorted by profit factor. It's not sorted by number of trades. It's not sorted out of sample profit factor. It's not sorted by Sharpe ratio. Instead, it's sorted by fitness. And the fitness is basically us ranking strategies with their the penalties they get. So like I said, we give penalties for everything a strategy does wrong, and the strategy that gets the least penalties and scores the highest will get to the leaderboard. And it doesn't have to be the strategy with the best in-sample profit or the best number of profit factor. It will be the strategy which is most likely to survive the best during live trading. So the fitness in here is basically divided by both in-sample fitness and out-of-sample fitness. So what does it mean? The in-sample fitness is the green period. It's the periods where we train our strategy based on the data. And by default, that's 70% of the data, but you can change it if you like. You can see it over here in sample percentage, 70%, which is the industry standard. So that gets its own fitness, and out of sample also gets its own fitness. But for the final ranking in the leaderboard, we switch it. We pay way more attention to the out of sample fitness than the in sample fitness, because the out of sample is basically us testing the strategy against unseen data. So that would be like testing it in live markets, see how it performs. And we give more ranking to that than to the in sample fitness. Another thing we do is we detect duplicate structural and performance, meaning that the leaderboard will not be flooded with just minor variations of the same overfit strategy. All the strategy on the leaderboard will be unique, and they will also be scored on the uniqueness. The more unique they are, the higher they will appear on the leaderboard. So a new strategy that is just a clone from a strategy which is already on the leaderboard with minor variations won't make it. So our number one ranked strategy on the leaderboard, and this is probably the most important, that is not just the best or the most profitable strategy during backtesting. It's actually the one that survived the most punishment. And since it can handle all the punishments, it's probably the one which will survive the best during live trading. Finally, one of Kevin's objection was that if you throw enough data and enough settings and parameters, you basically brute force a result. And we also countered that by looking only at 25% of the data for the early generations, meaning that any garbage gets rejected very fast. The middle generations, which is where we are now, they are working on like 50 to 75% of the data, meaning the strategy must prove consistency across more data. And the final generations, that's probably the last 20% of the data, only they get to see the full amount of data, the 100% of data. And only they will provide you the best results. So we always how do you say it? The best thing to do is always to let it run to the end. That's basically what I'm saying, because the higher the number of generation, the more data these strategies will see, and at the end they will see all data, and that's when you get the best results. Just to recap, Kevin is not completely stupid, of course. He's one of the best algo traders we know, and he's right in this video. And I agree with what he says. And if you look at his own process on how he develops strategies, it's basically the same thing we do in our strategy builder. Our strategy builder creates thousands of trading ideas. It does limited feasibility testing by first throwing away as much garbage as possible and only using a small sample of the data for the testing. And as we approach more to the end of the whole strategy building, they get to see more and more data. We do walk forward testing. We do optimization, just like Kevin does. The only thing is, I think Kevin does the walk forward testing at the end. So he's using, like, for example, 10 years of data, training and optimizing his strategy on the first 9 years, and then walk forward testing on the last year. We do it slightly different. We use rolling windows, so you can see the rolling windows here, where the magenta parts are algo sample, so that's tested on unseen data, and the green parts are in sample, so that's trained on data. And the main benefit of this is that you know that the strategy performed well across the entire data series and not just at the end. So that's why we chose this. And finally, of course, we do Monte Carlo simulations for all our strategies. And afterwards, Kevin will use incubation, which is basically sim trading it and then full trading it with real money. And our strategy builder allows you to do the exact same. So I think our product is different than probably all other strategy builders out there. Yes, it will auto-generate strategies, but we really spend a lot of time preventing it from being generating curve-fitted strategies, which don't work in live trading situations. Is it 100%? No, it won't be 100%. But it will be much better, and I think it's comparable to what big quants are currently using to prevent any over curve fitting strategies. Are these strategies which it generate, will they work for the next 5, 6 to 10 years? No, they won't. These strategies we create, you test them against the last 30 or 60 days, and they are meant to be traded on small time frames, for example the 1 minute or the 5 minute bars. If you trade something or train something on the last 30 to 60 days, you cannot expect it to keep on working for the next 10 years. We all know how the world has changed the last couple of years. If you created a strategy 3 years ago, it would have died now also. So we think it's a better way to have short-lived strategies which work for a week, maybe, or two, and just recreate and start over like every week or 2 weeks with a new fresh set of strategies. So what I'm personally doing is, in the weekend I create my strategies, I pick the top one or top ones, I traded them during the week, during the trading week, and then after the week is ended I throw them away and I create new ones. Each is generated based on the last 60 days of data, and that way you have a big chance that if they have worked pretty good over the last 60 days, that they will work pretty good or at least okay for the next 5 days, right? So every week I'm basically recreating my strategies and trading only new ones, and I'm not keeping them longer than a week. Now you say, well, you train them on 30 days. Is that not very minimal? Shouldn't it be like 10 years, like Kevin Davey does? And I think no. And the reason for this is Kevin Davey is trading, as far as I know, the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame. We are trading the 1 minute to 5 minute time frame. That's orders of magnitude lower. And I asked Cloud to just give us a quick comparison. If you look at the daily chart over the last 10 years, that means in 10 years there were 2500 bars. So your strategy is created and optimized for 2500 bars. Now let's say you don't trade the daily, you trade the 4-hour chart. Even with 4-hour chart over 10 years you get during ETH, so the entire trading hours, you get 14,000, well, let's say 15,000 bars. It's a lot more than 2,500, but 15,000. So your strategy then has been trained on 15,000 bars. Now let's look at what we are doing. We're trading the 1 minute on 30 days of data, or sometimes 60 days of data. But let's take the 30 days of data. So we train our strategy on the last 30 days. That means that we train it on 28,000, almost 29,000 bars. That's almost double of the 4-hour charts, and it's like almost 10 times more than the daily chart. So the amount of training and optimization done is done on multiple orders of data when compared on trading the 4-hour or the daily and backtesting 10 years. Now some of you might say, yeah, but even if you train it on 30 days, it will miss a lot of daily regimes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's true, but it's irrelevant for the 1 minute. If you're trading on the 1 or the minute or the 5 minutes, and you're looking at the last 30 days, there are countless hundreds of uptrends, downtrends, big strong trends, weak trends, range periods, choppy periods. So it has seen like all the possible market regimes for that time frame during those 30 days. And that's what matters. It doesn't matter that the last 30 days was a uptrend only on the daily chart. That's true, but if you go back to the 1 minute chart for the last 30 days, then even though there was a uptrend on the daily chart, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of up and down trends and choppy regions and raging regions on the 1 minute during those 30 days. So what happens on the daily chart is not very relevant for the 1 minute chart if you're trading the 1 minute chart, because you get in and most of the trades will take a couple of minutes and then you get out again. So that's why we train on the 30 days. And as long as you don't run the strategies or don't expect the strategies to survive for weeks, then you will be fine. Just create new ones every weekend. It takes you like 30 minutes, 40 minutes to create new ones, and then you start your week with fresh new ones. So yeah, that's what's basically my comment on the video of Kevin. Again, I highly respect the guy. He's a great algo trader, and has done a lot for the community. But I wanted to make this video to explain to you why I think our strategy builder is a little bit different than the ones Kevin have seen so far. Now, if you want to play with it, then we offer like I said, a free trial. So go to our page, free trial, read the small instructions. You can test it out completely free for 7 days, no payments needed, no credit card details needed. And then if you like it, you can subscribe to it on a monthly basis for $99 a month. And yeah, then you can just use the product, create strategies, trade them live. You can load them in AlgoStudio Pro. You can export them straight to NinjaTrader and trade them from NinjaTrader. And of course, you can pause or cancel your subscription at any time. So if you like this, leave a like or a comment below. If you have questions, ask them below or join our Discord. I'll put a link below. In the Discord, we have quite an active community working with a strategy builder. We are constantly releasing new updates because I'm using this myself as well in my trading. And we are always looking at how can we further improve the strategy builder to find better strategies yeah, basically make it better. Yeah, active community over there. A lot of people trying it out or already live trading with their own strategies. So feel free to join us. The Discord is also free. And I hope to see you there. And yeah, that's it for today. Let me know what you think of it and see you next time.